It started as a simple hiking trip, just me and three friends, Jack, Emily, and Tom. We'd been planning this for weeks, eager to escape the chaos of the city and immerse ourselves in the quiet of nature. Our destination? An old, remote mountain trail. Hardly anyone knew about it, which was exactly why we chose it. The first part of the hike was perfect. The trees stood tall like ancient guardians, and the air felt fresher than anything we'd ever breathed. We laughed, shared stories, and felt at peace. But as we climbed higher, something began to change. The atmosphere grew, heavy. The once vibrant forest seemed to lose its color, and an eerie silence settled over us. No birds, no wind, just the sound of our footsteps.
Does it feel colder to anyone else?
We're on a mountain, Em. It's supposed to be cold.
But it wasn't just the temperature. It was a chill that settled deep into our bones, like the mountain itself was watching us. And then we found the cabin. It wasn't on any map. No sign of it on any of the trail guides. It just appeared out of nowhere, tucked between the trees as if it had been waiting for us. Old, decaying, but somehow still standing. Tom insisted we check it out, of course. He was always the adventurous one.
Come on, what's the worst that could happen?
That was his favorite phrase, and it was the last time he ever said it. Inside, it was worse than we could have imagined. The walls were covered in strange symbols, carvings that didn't make any sense, like they were from a language no one should ever read. There was a thick layer of dust, untouched for years, but the strangest part,
Did you hear that?
we weren't alone. At first, we thought it was just our imagination, but then we heard it again. Footsteps circling the cabin, growing louder, closer, but no one was outside. We ran out of the cabin, back to the trail, but the feeling followed us. The air felt thick, suffocating, like the mountain was trying to trap us. And then, we saw it. A figure, standing at the edge of the trees, pale, eyes that seemed too wide, too dark.
Who's there?
It didn't move. It just stood there, watching. But when we blinked, it was gone. We should have turned back. We should have left. But Jack, being Jack, decided we should keep going. And that's when everything really went wrong. The trail started twisting in ways that didn't make sense. We'd been walking for hours, but it felt like we were going in circles. The trees looked the same, over and over, like we were stuck in some kind of loop. And that figure, it kept appearing, always at the edge of our vision, never close but never far.
We're lost. We're never getting out of here.
Tom tried to calm her down, but even he looked terrified. Jack was still trying to act tough, but I could see it in his eyes. He knew we were in trouble. And then the whispers started, faint at first, like the wind was playing tricks on us, but they grew louder, clearer. They were calling our names, one by one.
We need to leave. Now.
But it was too late. The trail we had come from, it was gone, disappeared like it had never existed. We were trapped, with that thing watching us, always watching. And then, Jack was gone. One moment he was right next to us, and the next, there was nothing, no sign of him, just the sound of his voice, echoing from somewhere deep in the forest, calling for help. But we knew better than to follow it.
Jack!
Whatever was out there, it wasn't Jack anymore. We never found him. Emily refused to move, terrified out of her mind. And Tom, he just kept muttering to himself, saying it was all his fault for pushing us to keep going. But I knew. It didn't matter. That mountain, it wasn't going to let any of us leave, at least not the same way we came.